Age is one of the first things we notice about other people. This is what the World Health Organization (WHO) says on its website. It is so obvious in our daily lives that we don't really have to prove it. Age is surely a factor that distinguishes people from one another. When we have to fill up our personal information in any form, the first thing we've been asked to enter after our name is our age. If we happen to forget a password, we may be able to retrieve it with the help of our date of birth. When we meet a kid, we usually ask, "What's your name?" and then, "How old are you?" Seniors are pleased if we exclaim in surprise, "You say you're 70? Don't tell me, you look just 60." In fact, aging is an unceasing natural process that affects all human beings. It is not age itself that matters, but the change that accompanies aging. This is because human beings, besides having a physical and visible body, also have an invisible mind that keeps thinking, a soul that gives them existence, and a spirit that connects them to the divine. The Bible describes the human body as the temple of the Holy Spirit. The Bhagavad Gita likens the body to a disposable garment that covers the soul within. What makes it difficult to arrive at a precise definition of aging is that the body, mind, soul, and spirit may not always be in sync. They may even act in opposition. Jesus Christ, on the night before his death on the cross, said in anguish that the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. St. Paul, the passionate apostle of Jesus, said in a letter which he wrote when he was 50 years old, that outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. In a sense, the unavoidable and irreversible wear and tear of the body with time is not the only factor that results in aging, although it is a crucial one. Aging, in a holistic sense, can be countered or at least delayed by thinking positively, by refreshing and nourishing the soul from time to time, and by keeping the spirit aflame. In today's world, we see age being increasingly used as a means of categorizing people, often to their detriment. This is called ageism. It comprises stereotyping, prejudiced thinking, and discrimination based on age. Aging well is one way of fighting ageism. By aging well, older people can prove useful to their families and can contribute to society instead of being considered a burden. On 9th October 2025, the American Society on Aging organized the observance of an annual Ageism Awareness Day to bring into spotlight the problem of ageism and the need of social equity and inclusion of people irrespective of age. Aging, growing, and getting older are three phases often used synonymously, but they are not quite the same, although they may be possibly overlapping. Aging is primarily a physical or biological process that is common to living creatures. It begins at birth and ends at death, with intervening stages of growth, maturity, stability, and decline. It could also have emotional and spiritual aspects. Aging can therefore be both positive and negative in character. Growing has only a positive connotation, like a baby learning to walk, or a child becoming taller, or a young adult developing muscular strength, or even an elderly person growing in wisdom. Getting older is a subjective and comparative phrase usually associated with physical and mental decline. It's also a feeling about yourself and about what others may be thinking about you. Getting older shows up in different ways, like developing wrinkles on the face, sagging muscles which were once strong, deteriorating vision, hearing loss, and so on. Getting older generally entails a reduction in the level of one's vitality. In the extreme situation, it could result in a substantial loss of memory and physical mobility. In brief, aging is linked primarily to time. Growing is a positive phase of aging in which one becomes better with time. And getting older is the wrong side of aging, in which decline is noticeable to oneself and to others. What is important, however, is that in all these processes, there is an involvement of the body, mind, soul, and spirit. Fortunately, with most people, all bad things don't happen at the same time. That's why, with most people, life goes on. The Bible has this description of growing up written by the Apostle Paul, who says, "When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, reasoned like a child. But when I grew up, I put away childish things." Paul looks upon life as a linear process, which in a sense it is. But today we wouldn't consider it unusual for a wise old person to have a childlike curiosity or for a child to think deeply about something. The phrase age is just a number has become very popular these days, and it is attributed to Joan Collins, a British actress, author, and columnist who was famous in the 1980s. It emphasizes that limitations traditionally imposed by age are not insurmountable and can be overcome by determination. Henry Ford associated age with learning and said, "Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young." Mark Twain said, "Wrinkles should merely indicate where the smiles have been." Emily Dickinson wrote, "We turn not older with years, but newer every day." Not all of these great men and women had long lives themselves, but their sayings motivate us to de-link our personalities from our age, expressed in terms of years, and help us in aging well.